Hey, good evening, and welcome to Meet
in the
Middle.
I'm Pastor Andy Hagan, and I'm happy to be with you tonight in this new format. We're going to try this over the course of the coronavirus, and in fact, this may be one of the reasons you'll want the coronavirus to actually wrap up. But we're going to try it anyway, because, you know, we got to find ways to connect, and so this is one of the ways that we're hoping to do it with you. So, introduce yourselves, guys. Everybody knows you.
Yep. Pastor Dave here. Glad you could join us on this lovely Wednesday evening.
Pastor Shayne, ditto.
Yeah, and so we're thinking about how to connect, and we thought it would be nice to have something that was sort of relaxed, where we could talk about some things that were on our minds, maybe on your minds as well, and just an informal. So don't expect a real powerful script here, and it's not a worship service. It's just a time to talk, and we're hoping that you'll talk back by sending Pastor Dave texts as the evening goes on. And I think we have his number there, 561-789-7308.
And you can write that anywhere. Like, I mean, seriously, if you want to write that down on walls, I'd love for him to get calls out of the blue from anybody.
Yeah, it's a pandemic. Anything goes.
That's right.
You just write, yeah. Kids, scratch it into the dining room table. No, don't do that.
Toss that number out.
561-789-7308. We take Visa, MasterCard. Do we take Discover anymore? Or not really.
I don't take any of those.
All right. So meet in the middle, just an opportunity to meet in the middle of the week, in the middle of the crisis, and hopefully maybe at times in the middle of this book as well, and see what's going on. Wanted to really celebrate this week after we finished Holy Week, and you know, He is risen indeed, right?
Yeah, that's
so
right.
Pastor Dave did some metrics for us on how things went over the course of Holy Week, and we had quite a few views. Kind of tell us some more about it.
Yeah, as of yesterday, as of Tuesday, we had about 915 people, 915 devices that had joined us for Easter services, and we had over 300 on both Thursday night. We had about 329, and Friday night we had 315 devices. Wow. Now, what they're saying is you can times that by about 1.78, and that's approximately how many people joined us. So that would be over 1,600 people that joined us for worshiping at Easter this year, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's great. And maybe some of you, for the first time, tuned in the last few weeks, and we're looking forward to meeting you face-to-face when that time comes. But in the meantime, make sure you let us know you're out there. Text us and give us your name and what you're interested in, what's been blessing you, or prayer concerns that you have. And we promise we won't show up at your door. That would be wrong, wouldn't it?
It would.
That'd be especially wrong right now if we did that. I wonder how the Jehovah's Witnesses are dealing with this.
You know, I'm not sure about that, Pastor Andy. None have been to my door. I know that.
No, and new church starts are really tanking right now, as you know, kind of tough time. So another great piece of news, in addition to the not unbeatable resurrection of our Lord, was maybe second place, which is that Advent received our grant, our loan from the Small Business Association Payroll Protection Plan. And it was
great news.
Unbelievable news.
Yeah.
As you know, a lot of people are applying, and you know, there's still people that are trying to figure out how to apply, and certainly our prayers are with them, but we're grateful to God that we had a local bank, Paradise. Can I say that on air?
Well, we just did.
Paradise
Bank.
Paradise Bank, folks, they came through for us.
Absolutely.
Your local bankers are hitting home runs with this right now. And so we're fortunate that we do our banking local, and they came through with a great loan, which will cover all of the payroll for Advent Life Ministries. So from Advent Square to the school to the church up to Lantana, everybody that was on payroll before the crisis is back on payroll. Those who were furloughed, our hearts went out to them. They're back on the payroll. Those who had salary reductions, they're back on the payroll. So it's really exciting. That'll cover from last Friday till our next pay period. And we have 8 weeks of this loan. If we use all the money, or whatever portion of the money we use over the 8 weeks, is completely forgiven, which is another definition of forgiven. I mean, that is a great definition of forgiven. The government's going to forgive us.
Yeah, I didn't know the government was in the grace business like Jesus is, but apparently right now they are.
Oh, it's great. And they calculate the loan to be pretty close to that. So really, in the end of the day, we get 8 weeks of help. And in the meantime, we can get people back not only on payroll, but some of them will get back to work. They're doing programs with our students through the internet. They'll be doing some work around campus, et cetera. And we're just going to be glad because these guys have been missing folks, huh?
Oh, definitely missing people, yep.
And we don't get to be around them really too much still. But I'll tell you what, I've been talking to a few of the teachers that have been affected by this, and man, they're ecstatic. Just to be able to get back into some kind of routine, to not have to worry about that next paycheck, that it is going to come, and just they're ready to serve. Even if they can't do their normal job, they're ready to serve. They're ready to do something, and that's exciting. So I'm excited. That is an awesome praise. That is something to be happy about.
It really is great. We're very excited about that for them and for our team to be back together. What does that mean about restarting? It means nothing right now about restarting. It just means that we get to put them back on payroll and start to think about, I guess we're at the stage of thinking about what it would look like when it's reasonable, when it's safe to get back to contact ministry, to actual, no more flag tag, this would be contact
Full
ministry.
contact church.
Full contact church. We'll probably have to learn from what the CDC, the government, local authorities, we're going to have to just listen to everybody.
But we may be rolling out things in stages. We still don't know. It could be that we have to limit the size of our gatherings for a while. But who knows?
I'll tell you something that you're doing an amazing job of, though. You're making us all think about possibility A, B, C, D, and E, and F, and G. So we're all thinking about what if we go in stages? What if we do this? So no matter what happens, we're going to have a plan when we can do something.
Yeah, we talked about summer camp. There's some ideas.
We've been talking about summer camp. We've been talking about a bunch of different things of how we're going to roll things out. Maybe we're only doing 10 people at a time and one counselor with that 10 person, with those people, they're in different classrooms. So we're talking about 100 different things. Talking about obviously we're doing online stuff right now, but eventually we will get to be together again. And so we'll see how that looks going forward.
Yeah, and just a special message for Vahan. Vahan, Pastor Shayne is planning an amazing hug for you when he is able. When it's safe, when he is able, he's going to run and give you just an amazing embrace. I know you're in withdrawal right now, but it's going to be okay, Vahan. It will be okay.
That's right.
I think Pastor Dave uses me as himself sometimes.
You're the stand-in.
I'm like the stand-in. Like, he really wants to hug. I got to keep smacking his hand, and I'll be like, hey, and then go and sanitize myself, because he just wants to hug people, okay? That's why we put that as this couch in front, between us right now. We want to practice that good social distance, but it's really hard for this man right here. So
I just know I can't run up to Vahan because of my knee right now, but I know you'll be able to.
Okay. All right.
He'll be able to catch you very easily. Well, when it's the right time, air hugs, high fives, I don't know what. We can't wait. It certainly is that kind of place, and it's been very, very odd in those ways. So be looking forward to getting back to that when it's safe and when it's right, and we'll figure it all out. It's just great to have our staff back on board, and we're going to provide them with masks and gloves as needed, but most of the time they won't be in contact with each other. They'll work in their rooms on their own, like our wonderful elementary and middle school, who have been already functioning for weeks, keeping our kids on track. And well, you have 3 that are online class. How's that going?
Yeah, I tell you what, a huge shout out again to our teachers. They're doing an amazing job. These guys have Zoom meetings, they have regular class meetings, they have the Google Meet meetings, they have homework, they have packets, they have, they are busy. The middle school is the middle school is basically in school still. They are in front of a camera or on the computer and stuff pretty much all day long. And this is a harder job for the teachers. It is easier to be in the classroom. I can attest to that. It is easier for me to be in front of the kids talking, but you have to set up, all of this online learning. Then you have to do it. Then you have to stage it. Then you have to monitor it. It is a huge undertaking, and our teachers are doing an amazing job with it. So another round of applause for you guys. You guys are doing awesome. If any of you guys are on right now.
And the thing is, there was no preparation. I mean, a couple weeks at the most to go from, you know, what to I'm teaching tomorrow online. You know, and believe me, our teachers did not get a spring break. The kids might have, but our teachers were working like crazy to get through, and we just can't thank them enough. So, and kids, turn this off and get to work, right? They got work to do? Nah,
It's
you can
evening
stay.
time.
I just got a text. I don't know who it's from. It says, teaching from home is 10 times harder.
10 times harder. We appreciate that.
Was that my wife?
It might be.
By the way, it's Malachi's 5th birthday. Happy birthday, Malachi.
Oh, we should sing. Ready?
So, we're going to sing?
Yeah.
All right.
You start.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Malachi. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Malachi.
Are you 1? Are you 2? Are you 3? Are you 4? You got it.
5 years old.
5 years old.
Oh, that text was from Ron Moreland, one of our public school teachers who's out there. Yeah. So special thanks to you, Ron, and
man.
all those.
He's
of our
in the
teachers
trenches,
who do it.
man.
Yep.
So we're trying to, you know, have a good time in the midst of this difficult time. And one of the ways we thought we would have a good time, we all missed the chili cook-off. I mean, that was awful to miss that.
I mean, that's where I was going to get to hoist up my belt, my championship belt. And
Yeah.
be like, look at me, little Southern boy. Or actually,
Were they
I'm
gonna
not-
give
I'm not
a-
a Southern boy down here.
Were they going to give a big belt? Because I just got like a little pot one time, a little tiny
Well,
little.
it depends on who wins. Obviously, if
Oh.
I won, it's a big deal, you know, and so they were going to make the prize a little bigger.
All right.
So,
All right.
but-
So we're going to have a virtual potluck, though. What could be better than that? And that's going to be Sunday at 5 o'clock. It will be a Zoom call. So you have between now and 5 o'clock on Sunday night if you've never done a Zoom call. Oftentimes that might mean going to the Zoom website and checking out what you need to do. It's a pretty easy thing.
It's a straightforward thing.
Yeah.
You just there's some kinks that you got to work out sometimes doing your first Zoom call about the speaker and about where things are located. But I challenge you guys to get on, maybe do a Zoom call with a friend or something and play with it a little bit. That's what we did when we started out. We got online and we're all picking up our phones and our laptops and we're messing with the system and we learned it fast.
I believe if you know anybody that does it, I think you could just set up a call with them to make sure it works for you.
Yep.
But and we'll do the same. If you want to double check, just do it during the week before we get to Sunday at 4:55, and we'll be glad to do a Zoom call. You go to zoom.us, and then there's the information there. But Zoom is Zoom, so it's a great thing. What we're going to do, if it all works, is something we picked up from Sue Caplia. A shout out to her, who is with Spanish River Church. She's a neighbor of mine. She was telling us about their Zoom church gathering. 100 or so people were on Zoom. Now, if you've ever looked at it, it's little squares of people. So 100 people is impressive, but not like anything you can interact with. So what they did is they did an online, the Zoom call started off, the pastor did some talking, and then, of course, the pastor would do some talking. Naturally, that's part of the reason for this whole thing is for us to talk.
That's right.
And then you can put people in breakout groups. And it's really cool. All of a sudden, you get sent to a group of like 6 people. And then you can tell them about your dish, what's been going on with you, where you got the recipe from, just fun stuff like that. Then we'll bring you back, and we're going to do a Bible study that's going to kick off our series. And you want to tell them about our series?
Yeah, our series for the next 7 weeks is from the book of Psalms, and we're calling it Cries of the Heart, because that's really what the book is. Most of them are written by David, but not all of them. They're different, and they all really are songs. They were written as songs, and it is David and others just pouring their heart out to God. Sometimes pouring out his praises, sometimes, to be honest, sometimes sort of complaining to God. And God says he wants us to do that. Those are actually called laments, and we give God our laments because he is bigger than any problems that we face.
Yeah, it's a great book to be digging into right now because
Absolutely.
If you're not familiar with all the history and theology of the Bible, which, you know, some of us aren't, right? You'll understand the Psalms.
Yeah.
I mean, there'll be a few words you don't, but the feelings, you will understand because it's real life. And that's what we're, going through now in a pretty significant way. So what's the psalm this week, this Sunday night?
This Sunday is Psalm 23. It should be a familiar one.
What a great way
Yeah.
to start. And we did use the Right Now Media. We did talk about that a month ago or so.
We did, the Psalm 23 Right Now Media, and a lot of you did go through that. So
Yeah, Right Now Media is an online resource. It's free. Just sign up, right? Go online.
we actually have a link right on our webpage.
There you
but
go.
also, if you would like a reminder link, I can send one to you. Just all you have to do is text me. You got my number. Text me your email address, and we'll send you a invitation to join.
I mean, because everybody's done with that Tiger guy, right? What's that thing?
The Tiger King.
Tiger King?
Yeah.
You've all watched. It's done now, right?
Well,
You're
they
over.
They did drop a new episode.
Oh.
I've seen that one already too.
I guess we got to cut this short then.
Yeah, we got to go watch that.
But you've watched a lot of stuff, so now's the time to go right now and see the Bible studies. They're incredible, and I think that Matt Chandler's the one that does the Psalm 23, right?
Matt Chandler.
Yeah,
did
I
Psalm
mean,
23. Yeah.
who else? Who else? But it's really good. The video's great. Our small group's been doing it, and we've really enjoyed it. So shout out to small group. So Zoom meetings have manners. There's a few things. Dave, what would you say is an important thing when you're on a Zoom meeting?
Well, one of the important things in the Zoom meeting is basically if people are talking at the same time, it's not like real life. You can't hear anything.
That's
So
what it's like.
there actually is a feature on Zoom where you can raise your hand and whoever's hosting the meeting can call on you. And so that's one of the reasons maybe to test Zoom out ahead of time, to become familiar with some of those features. But you literally can raise your hand like you're in school again, and a person can call on you.
Yeah. And again, that'll be a while. It'll be nice to be in a breakout room.
Much nicer to be in a smaller group for that purpose, yeah.
Manner, a Zoom mini manner.
Trying to see what I've seen or what I've done, because I've broken all the rules. So, I don't know. Be careful where you're at in a Zoom meeting. Like a lot of us have our phone, like do Zoom meetings on our phone. And I've seen some Facebook posts about going, taking and forgetting what's going on, even if you're muted. Because a lot of times we'll be muted or something, and that's important. If you're not talking, sometimes it's just better. And if you got commotion around you, which it's life. We know you have commotion around you. We know you have things going on. Mute yourself. That way people can't hear your kids screaming in the background or you yelling at your dog or, however that's going to work. But then be careful about where you take your phone or you take the Zoom meeting, because you're taking everybody with you.
Yeah, and whoever's in the background, warn them.
Yeah, and warn them. Exactly. I mean, I can only imagine. Judah does not like to wear clothes very often, and he just, woo! That's my boy.
Woo!
Yeah, I did see a grown man in his underwear walking past someone who was in my Zoom meeting. I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus, but yeah.
Is it okay to eat? We were having the potluck. It's okay to eat on Zoom, isn't it, or not?
Yeah, just, mind your normal table manners. Just like you don't want to chew with your mouth open, you definitely don't want to on Zoom, because you're getting all the sounds and the up-close video. And people can record it. So.
Oh, that's true.
What I like about this Zoom potluck idea is we have a tendency at meals and at get-togethers to go sit with people we know. When we get put into different rooms, if I'm understanding this correctly, we just go to different rooms with people we may not know, or we
completely
may
random. Yeah,
it's completely random. It's not like we take everybody on Zoom and we pick, this person will like to eat with that person, and
it's not a seating chart.
It's not a seating chart. It's just.
No, not like a
And
wedding.
all of a sudden, I have to eat with Pastor Dave, and that's not necessarily the thing I want to do.
Oh my gosh,
he drools.
That'd be terrible. So lots of interesting things, and I've been really impressed at how fast everyone's adapted in our church. It's been incredible.
Yeah.
Our Bible study group on Tuesday mornings has got to 17 people this week. Men's group, Sergio, Bible study, they're all on. All on. It's great. In fact, they've added GJ now. Gary Jensen's added himself on because he has nothing to do. Hey,
right.
Gary. But Gary likes to walk around the house, too, while he's...
Good.
Fortunately, he lives alone, so he's covered there. So we hope that you'll do some of those things, and you can let us know if you have any questions about it. And we have an email address, too, which is online@goadvent.org. Online is pretty easy to remember, and it's goadvent.org. We have been over a month now of social distancing. I don't know, does it seem like a day or a year?
It seems like a year for me. I'm a people person. I didn't realize how much I needed people until they all left.
Yeah.
I really don't, because at the times you get agitated with certain people, or you're kind of just. But man, when they're gone, I want that agitation back. I want those people that drive me crazy. So it feels like a year.
Yeah. And Dave, you like to eat out and get out, and
I do. I like to be out in the world, and you just can't do that. It's rough. And I would also like to clarify something. I've been watching myself on camera. I have hair here. For whatever reason, the camera makes it look like I look like LeBron James. Like my hair here is gone. Only the hair on my side shows up. I don't know what the problem is with Kathy's camera.
I don't really see any hair there, so
There is hair there, I promise you. As soon as we can get over the social distancing, you can come and see for yourself.
all right.
Speaking of haircuts, if you need a haircut, Pastor Dave does a great job at social distance haircutting. If you haven't seen my video, please check it out.
We do have that video.
We have a video.
Yeah. So a long month, I think, probably, but a blur in a way too. So we've noticed, and we've been verified by this first-person witness, that there are 5 stages of going into quarantine, of going into the shutdown, 5 stages of stay at home. So for all of you, you'll be able to relate to this video now. I just want to let you meet a young man who's going through his quarantine.
All right. I think I'm good to go for quarantine. I got food, I got water, I got 850 rolls of toilet paper, and of course beer. There's gonna be no sports on TV. Oh my God. But might be good to take a mental break. I could start P90X finally. You know what? I don't think it'll be that bad.
We can play it.
Let's go see what's on Netflix. There's so many new shows on Netflix. Wow. Let's just start here. No, don't do it. Don't go back to him. Oh my God. I watched everything on Netflix. What do I do now? No, I'm not swinging in the house. No, I promise. All right, honey. Yes, we can talk. Yep. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Wow, she said all that, huh? She didn't say that. Can't believe she didn't say that. Yeah, no, I'm listening, yeah. That's great. Actually, just excuse me for 1 sec. Yeah, just give me 1 sec. Yeah, 1 second here. I need to get out of here. Oh my God. I miss outside. I miss the world. I don't care that it's only been 1 day.
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
Yeah.
One day, a long day. It's been a long
You watched
day.
all of Netflix in one day? I'm not even mad. I'm impressed.
That's amazing.
I don't think it's physically possible.
I do not think it is.
This is the second time I saw it. I noticed he hadn't changed his shirt. First time I was kind of worried. It's like, at least you can change your clothes.
Changing clothes in quarantine is kind
And
of
make your
optional.
bed. Make your bed. Somebody said you're supposed to make your bed every day. It's like a good thing. So
Good practice. It
Don't
starts off
just-
your day with some kind of structure.
I like that. So, what can you relate to about that,
Oh, man.
PD?
A lot of it. You know, I think it's just we're used to certain rhythms in our life, and when our rhythms get disrupted, life gets really hard. It really is the little things. Like Pastor Shayne and I were talking about this. I really want to go sit in a restaurant.
Really?
I've thought about breaking into one. It would still be social distancing because no one else would be there.
Yeah.
But just I want to sit in a restaurant.
Oh yeah.
I just like the interaction with people that are not part of my everyday life, you know?
Yeah.
So.
You know, it's funny how, I mean, I know that video was meant to be funny, but how kind of accurate it is. Like, it took me a little while to open it back up to my family and get to know, like, I mean, it's a different kind of relationship we have now. I mean, it's a good thing, it's a great thing, but you know, I think I'm probably on level 4, level 5. I'm getting close to the meltdown, but I'm still listening to everybody in the house, and listening to everybody in the house is probably what's going to give me a mental breakdown. But I think we all go through different stages, and I mean, it's a very, very real thing. There's a lot of people with anxiety. There's a lot of people that are just stressed out. I had this, and we were just talking about this. I did this hard 75. It was a fitness challenge. It was this, you know, and I did so good on the challenge, if I can say so myself. And on day 75, you know, it ended, and literally this started right up.
Yeah, that was the 13th, I think, Friday the 13th.
It was Friday the 13th. It started up, and so my gym closed down. Everything just started closing down, and so I'm back to eating Oreos and you know, pizza. I talk about Oreos a lot. I think they should like sponsor me.
We need to get them on
yeah.
Kraft.
Yeah, Kraft from
Oreos.
the Jet Puff marshmallows the other day, and then Oreos.
No, Yamaha guitars. We could just add them to the
That's right.
sponsors. Cool. So one of the things that we want to do maybe is to give ourselves some spiritual strength, because to do this right, we need to wait a little longer. We don't want to do this wrong. You know, we don't want to like throw this thing into haywire by bolting, and it doesn't do any good for us to just be like locked up in frustration. We got to find healthy ways to hang in there. And we were talking about a very, very short incident that takes place right after Easter that just really, it hit in just a few verses, kind of where we're at. It's John chapter 20, verses 19 through 22. On the evening of that first day of the week, when the disciples were together, with the doors locked for the fear of the Jews, Jesus came and stood among them and said, "Peace be with you." After he had said this, he showed them his hands and his side. The disciples were overjoyed when they saw the Lord. Again, Jesus said, "Peace be with you. As the Father has sent me, I'm sending you." And with that, he breathed on them and said, "Receive the Holy Spirit. If you forgive anyone his sins, they are forgiven. If you do not forgive them, they are not forgiven." Please forgive, though. I think that'd be better. Let's go with that. On the evening of that first day of the week, the disciples were together with the doors locked for fear. Locked for fear. I mean, that is the story. We are locked up with a reasonable fear. We either don't want to get the virus or become a carrier who spreads it. And we don't want to be a burden on the health system. We don't want to overload it. We don't want to face potential permanent health effects. So fear isn't the wrong term for this. Now, whether we're all feeling fearful at every minute, I don't know. We haven't really experienced the spread of it, but there are places, and you watch them on TV, you see, they're afraid. They're afraid. And so I wouldn't be surprised that there might be some of you who are very afraid right now of catching it, or of what this means for your business, your life. I mean, all of us on some level are in some stage of fear. And fear, of course, can turn into several things. It can turn into anger pretty easily. You know, when you're afraid, it's, the fight or flight instinct. You know, when something comes at you, you either go after it or you run. So what do you do? How do you go after this fear? You know, you can't run around and spray Lysol on everybody. It's not going to, it'd be fun, but it's not going to, for a while.
You'd be surprised.
You'd be surprised. At the same time, fear can turn into depression, whether it be deep depression or a mild depression. I mean, I have to say today was a day where I felt lower than usual, and that's not usual for me. So, I think we can all relate to those. Reach out if you're getting deep on anything.
Absolutely.
We care about you. Yeah. The three of us, any one of us, you can let us know. It's confidential, whatever. We'd be happy or honored to talk to you about your situations. And we can't stop the virus, but we can maybe help you with the fear, whether it's making you angry or whether it's making you depressed. And so in this stage of the story, the disciples are afraid. They're afraid that the same people that set Jesus up for crucifixion are going to follow up on his disciples. And so they have a real, it's not an imagined fear. It's a real fear. This isn't imaginary. This is a real fear we're all going through. And it's a real fear because, let's be honest, it's reaping some tragedy in our country. I don't keep track of the numbers now, but what's the number we're at for people tested positive now?
I don't keep up with it. I can.
Somebody want to text us that? It's I thought it was 700 or 700,000. Is that too many? And
world meters. I'll get right to it.
And death. The death count. You hate to even think of that.
I think it was like 27, 28,000. Like, is that correct? Like, I was just listening to the news actually right before.
Yeah, we're at about 28,000 deaths in our country.
Yeah. And so
643,508.
Yeah. So, and we've had some experience in our congregation, not of a death related to this illness, although we have to prepare ourselves that could happen. This week we lost Bob Doyle, one of our good snowbird friends from Chicago, who would come down every year. Unfortunately, had a stroke while he was here, and he's with the Lord. And Diane, his wife, we've reached out to her. Also, Fred Jens's dad passed away.
Yeah, he did.
And that again was not due to this, but certainly there was a lot of stress, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
In his life. He was in a rehab facility, and he came home and unfortunately didn't make it. So those folks are experiencing it, and I'm sure other people could tell us about people who are affected. We all know people involved in first responding. Sarah.
Yeah.
I've got people in our family who are nurses, Amanda and Kat, who are nurses, and others as well. So there's reason to be fearful. Let's be real. It doesn't help ever to say to someone, "Don't be afraid." It just doesn't work, But love, empathy, communication, encouragement. That's the stuff that we can do. This last week we lost, one of the most critically acclaimed folk singers of our time that no one, I won't say no one, but most people didn't know, including me. Were you guys familiar with John Prine?
Not really.
No, he really didn't have, his biggest hit was Bonnie Raitt's Make Me an Angel That Flies from Montgomery. Didn't have hits, but everyone who was in the business loved him. And he was a inspiration to them. So some of the folks that we like were really influenced by him. And I wanted to play a song that was on his last album that captured, when I first heard it, some of the words, but mostly the feeling of being in this sort of fearful state, and maybe a hopeful sign of it too. Summer's end, another bend just flying. Swimming suits are on the line just drying. I'll meet you where for our conversation. I hope I didn't ruin your whole vacation. Well, you never know how far from home you're feeling until you watch the shadows cross the ceiling. Now, I don't know, but I can see it snowing. In your car, the windows are wide open. So come on home, come on home. No, you don't have to be alone. Just come on home. Valentines break hearts and minds at random. That Easter egg ain't got a leg to stand on. Well, I can see that you can't win for trying. And New Year's Eve is bound to leave you crying. Come on home, come on home. No, you don't have to be alone. Just come on home. Come on home. Well, moon and stars hang out in bars just talking. I still love that picture of us walking, just like that old house we thought was haunted. Summer's end came faster than we wanted. So come on home, come on home. No, you don't have to be alone. Just come on home, come on home. No, you don't have to be alone. Just come on home. Summer's end came faster than we wanted. That's Summer's End by the late, great John Prine. Look him up. That's what I've been doing a little bit. Don't expect always to be cheered up by him, but he's a real guy. Had a lot of real great lyrics and songs. So, Doors Locked in Fear, we're here for you. We're here for each other. Don't let it turn into anger or depression. Let it be real, but let it be known that Jesus walks into that situation in this story and in your life. So, Shayne, what does Jesus say when he, well, I don't know, he doesn't walk in the door. He just kind of does a Casper.
He just kind of, woo.
Yeah.
He's like, peace be with you guys.
Yeah.
You know, peace, it's all right. And I think that's what he's trying to tell us all right now. He's trying to let us know that we need to have peace, that we need to have comfort in him. We need to just relax and just get through this and completely just hang on him. I actually think about, one of my kids, Judah, at a time like this. He is so dependent. He's our baby. He's our 3-year-old, and he is so dependent on anybody that is around. And he doesn't have to be, but he wants to be. Mm-hmm. And he just follows around mommy, he follows around daddy, follows around Eden, older sister, Chloe, or even Malachi, the one that just turned 5. And he just wants to latch on to them. He feels safe. He feels comforted by that. And I think that's what we need to do as Christians right now. We just need to latch on to Jesus and let him drag us around. Because he wants to be there. You know, there's some times that I'm like, Judah, off. off. You know, Jesus isn't ever going to shoo me off. Jesus isn't ever going to knock me off and tell me. He wants, hey, I want to give you this peace that you can only find in me. And he wants to comfort us through this. And I think if we turn to him, I think he's going to give us that peace. So.
Yeah, I agree. I like that image.
Yeah.
Of holding
me
on
knocking off my kids.
Holding on. Have you guys ever seen those shoes that guy developed where his kids' feet can go on the tops of the shoes and then they...
I saw a video of that, yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I like to do that with Jesus, kind of.
There you go. Absolutely.
But I don't know if I want to go first. I can go behind him. So peace comes with knowing that you're walking with Jesus.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Even if it takes you places you're not sure you want to go, right?
That's right. You know, I think it's funny, like we talk about they were closed the door in fear, but they were also waiting. Mm-hmm. They were waiting, and I think that's another example to pull from that is they're waiting, we're waiting, we're waiting to see what the next news is. You know, when can we go to the beach again? When can we go out? When is this going to blow? Is it going to blow over? Is it not? You know, they're obviously waiting for the Holy Spirit, and I think that's another challenge to us. That's what we need to be waiting for. That's what we need to be seeking after, is looking for that Holy Spirit. That way we can get him back into a routine. I tell you what, if it wasn't for the Holy Spirit, if it wasn't for the Bible, if it wasn't for my Christian families right now, I would be one of those breaking down right now. Like I want to be out there. I want to be doing something. I'm very much like Pastor Dave. I want to be out. And if it wasn't for my family around me, my Christian brothers and sisters, and this Bible, and the Holy Spirit, I don't know what I would be doing right now. I'd be crazy. I'd be running on the beach, running away from cops. You can't catch me. But the Oreos in my stomach said they can.
The someone who doesn't have faith, and this isn't judgment, I don't think. Again, text us back if you want to jump on it. But if you don't have faith, you don't know how this is going to turn out. You literally don't know how this is going to turn out. Yeah. If you have faith, you know exactly how this is going to turn out. God's going to win. Mm-hmm. God's going to prevail. I mean, yep. You know, and frankly, however he decides to do it, it just becomes fine with me. I mean, that's what I want. I like to say that. Might be harder in practice. So peace. Excellent. So next in the story, Pastor Dave, we have the experience of joy. They're overjoyed. A lot of times when the disciples, like when people see like something unexpected, what are the words that the angels use? Fear not.
For behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy.
But in this case, they're overjoyed right away. It's pretty cool.
They are. You know, I think they probably were so worried and confused, and then there's Jesus, right? And so he's there, and immediately all their fear, all their worry is gone. Yeah. And that's you know, to add to what Pastor Shayne just shared, that's what the presence of Jesus does in our lives. You know, when you know, a couple days ago I wrote in the daily devotion about black jelly beans. And I know this is not true for most of you, but for me, black jelly beans bring me joy. And even more than that, it brings me back to a memory of Easter. Because that's, you know, the time of year. They don't make black jelly beans year-round. I mean, there might be some companies that do, but I think the market for these is that people actually pick them out of their regular jelly beans and put them into separate bags.
Can you send them back to...
You might be able to, and that's probably what I get here. They don't even call them jelly beans. Now they're called jelly bird eggs. Oh. But I remember, you know, growing up, I have very distinct memories of this, that as a family we would go to church, we'd celebrate Easter, we'd do our egg hunt and our things, and then we would go to my mom's parents' house. Every year, we'd always go. In fact, almost every Sunday, we would go to my mom's parents' house, and we'd go there. And I remember on Easter, I would be so excited because I knew that my granny had a bag of black jelly beans just for me. No one else wanted them. And she had them in the freezer because I guess that I really liked when they were in the freezer. And I have distinct memories of after Easter dinner, sitting down, eating my bag of black jelly beans, and the Masters being on television. Ooh. I wasn't that interested in golf, but I loved, because that particular year that's ingrained in my head, everyone in my family was cheering for Jack Nicklaus. you know, one of the great all-time golfers, Jack Nicklaus. But I wanted to root for Tom Watson. Ooh. Because that's the way I was. I just like to be different. And guess who won?
Watson.
Tom Watson. Tom Watson won. I have this distinct memory of joy. And, you know, associated with Easter, and it's always been so fun to me to think back to that. But I just imagine the disciples and the joy that they experienced. I mean, having walked with Jesus for 3 years, all their hopes and dreams are wrapped up in this one person, and they're dashed.
Yeah.
You know, and I think there's got to be people out there that are feeling that right now. Maybe it's high school seniors that have no idea if they're going to get to have a graduation. You know, maybe it's people that had great, you know, I've already had 2 weddings canceled that I was going to oversee, you know, that I was going to officiate for. And, you know, one of them's been put off for a year, and one of them, I think they were just going to, I don't know, go to the courthouse or something.
Okay.
But, you know, I just think of all the people who've had their hopes and dreams dashed. And that's what the disciples were going through. And then all of a sudden, there's Jesus.
Yeah.
And that's going to be, I mean, that must have been so much better than the day that we all hear, all right, guys, it's safe. You can, Pastor Shayne, you can go to the beach.
Oh,
I mean,
finally.
He's going to be filled with such joy, I imagine. But,
Oh, yeah.
But
Me and 5 million other people.
the experience the disciples felt right then must be even so much greater than that. I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a great story, you know. It's short. You want to check it out, John?
I jumped ahead in my story. I started off in that story, and then when I said they were waiting for the Holy Spirit, I jumped straight over to where Jesus already ascended, and they were all in the room waiting for the Holy Spirit. Did you notice I did that a second ago? That's the way my mind works. I'm going. So I'm waiting. So anyway.
Well, I like that idea that the Holy Spirit is, you know, given in this particular case at this moment when they need it the most. And so, you know, that's something to remember, that the Holy Spirit that was given in our baptism is in all of us through all this. We won't be alone, and we'll have more courage and strength than we think, and love, hopefully, for our family members. Great. So we wanted to throw a little idea at you as we want to do this time, which is sort of, you know, stump the pastors, although you really don't have to work that hard, I don't think, to do that. We could probably talk our way around almost anything, but stumping the pastors, if you're going to get tricky on who's the third cousin of King Jehoshaphat, we might lose out on that. But some bigger questions that you have in life, and I guess we've got some texted in already, or do we need to prime the pump with...
Let's prime the pump. We only have one, and it's a toughie.
We have, okay. So, Pastor Shayne, these are from kids, and since you got them in that age, and you're our youth and young adult minister, why did God make mosquitoes? All they do is bite you. Why would he do that?
You know, I don't think that was, the mosquitoes was probably their original purpose was probably not to bite you. You know, that I think that all probably stems from the fall, you know, the garden. In fact, it talks about there not being thorns and stuff until after the sin, you know, entered this world. So mosquitoes may have been there to love you, to give you some kisses or something. But then maybe when sin entered the world, everything kind of took on a different nature. And I think maybe mosquitoes, from that point, decided they wanted to bite you.
Wow, you had a phenomenal... I mean, we might let you do all the rest of these. That was incredible.
I get one and done, right?
That was amazing.
Is this George Costanza? I'm out!
Oh, I'm out! That was good. You see that? That's the most I've seen him move in weeks right there.
Yeah, he bent the knee.
So.
I do have one here, and this one's from Ron Moreland. He asked, what's the biggest cover-up in the Bible? And I'm not exactly sure, Ron,
Biggest cover.
what you are getting at with the question, but...
Is he talking about the Da Vinci Code when Jesus really got married to Mary Magdalene, had a baby, and they moved to France?
I know, Ron, I don't think that's what he's talking about.
I doubt it.
You know, I've been reading the story of Joseph because I just think I love the story of Joseph, and I've been reading that, and I think there's so many of all of the stories in the Bible, the ways in which God takes the things that are so bad in Joseph's life and uses them for good. And I think we've got a situation that's bad by all accounts, right? And I'm just fascinated to see what are the great and good things that God is going to do through this. There's a lot of pain, suffering, hard things going on. But I know, because that's what our God does, he's going to do great things. And so in particular, the part of the story that I was, the part of the story that I was thinking of was when Joseph's brothers, right? These are the people that make up the 12 tribes of Israel, right? The founders of each of the 12 tribes, so to speak. And so what do? They're jealous of Joseph. So you guys know the story, right? They throw him in a pit, and then a couple of the brothers want to kill him. And so, no, one of the older brothers, Reuben, goes and says, no, we're not going to kill him. Let's sell him into slavery, which is not much better, but at least he's not dead. And, of course, God used that for amazing things. And what do? They take blood, right, and they make it look as though Joseph was mauled and killed, and they bring that back to the father. So they cover up the fact that they've sold their brother into slavery and let their father think that his favorite child is dead. Yeah. So that was quite a cover-up. Not unlike what Father Jacob did in stealing his twin brother's birthright earlier. Also a cover-up, right? So there are lots of cover-ups. I'm not really sure exactly what you were hinting at.
The one that came to my mind was the linen cloth covering up Jesus.
Well, yeah, he actually just texted in again. What did the soldiers of the tomb do, and how did this give evidence to the resurrection? Yeah. So.
Excellent. Yeah. That might be taking a little page from Mr. Strobel, Lee Strobel's book.
Absolutely.
And I saw that thing is 99 cents, I think, on Kindle.
Wow.
If you want to get it. What is it, The Case for Easter?
The Case for Christ.
Well, there is a Case for Easter also.
Yeah, I think that's like 99 cents if you have. And if you like that, and plus his movies now on Prime or Netflix, the movie about Lee Strobel, Case for Christ.
I didn't know there was a movie.
Yeah. It is pretty good. It really is. We watched it. It was pretty good. He was a journalist, an atheist journalist. He's going to disprove Christianity.
Oh, yeah. I know about Lee Strobel. Yeah, I've read that. Yeah.
And it's pretty good.
Here's another question. Pastor Andy, are you ready for it?
Okay.
Why are ostriches the only birds that God made with wings that can't fly?
Oh, my gosh. Why are ostriches the only birds? Oh, and who sent that one?
Listen, Jessica Ballas, we don't know why ostriches can't fly. So no, it seems like a Jess Ballas thing.
Well, one of the things you can ask yourself, and you see it in the book of Psalms actually, that God made things to delight in them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we do have a harder time reaching the mosquito thing. I like your explanation. The things that maybe are less attractive or maybe even harmful. I mean, sharks, if you're a surfer, But all in all, nature is awesome, and it's beautiful, and it says in the Psalms that he made it to delight. He delighted in making it and then letting it loose and seeing, I think.
And I tell you what, that's where I see God the most. In my life, like nature is how I look around and I'm like, there has to be a God, right. And I never really doubt that for the moment, but I look at nature and I can just see his handiwork. I can see his beauty. I can see what he's done. And I'm an outdoorsman, and I do hunt and stuff when I'm back in Indiana, and I love, that's my favorite part, is just being out in nature and just experiencing God in that kind of way. So,
amen. And then Book of Psalms, obviously, so many great, how great thou art. Awesome. Let's see.
Just to kind of go on that, one of the things that I love about animals, and I like to think about God and creation is, obviously evidence of his power, evidence of his creativity. I think there's evidence of God's sense of humor.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the duck-billed platypus? Seriously, God? I mean, he's got to be chuckling about that. Or what about this animal right here? Do you guys see this? They won't be able to see it on television.
It's called zebra horse?
It's called an okapi. It's like a zebra and a giraffe.
It's just fun.
I mean, that's awesome, God. That's what all the animals would look like if I was God.
Well, you got to also think about, too, I mean, every one of our dog species kind of originated from a wolf. They can trace that back. And so,
seriously, a Chihuahua?
A Chihuahua, even. Everything, over time of, certain traits, interbreeding within this trait that produce. I mean, breeders do it today still. So
Liger.
there was less variety, but so God's still showing us this sense of humor and his variety. So.
Yeah. So, any final thoughts, guys? Got a final song, but anything else you want to pop out there?
Yeah, we've lost them all anyway already. So
Never know. Got to give it a whirl. This song's been on my mind. Again, it's not a Christian song, but it's not Sunday morning, so I'm using opportunity. Some of you might know the song by the band, if you're a fan of that era. Shayne wasn't born yet, but... Sing along with me if you know it. Pulled into Nazareth, I was feeling about half past dead. Just need some place where I can lay my head. Hey, mister, can you tell me where a man might find a bed? He just grinned and shook my head. No was all he said. Take a load off, Fanny. Take a load for free. Take a load off, Fanny. And you're supposed to go, and put the load right on me.
Okay. All right, this is why I'm in the middle.
Oh, I picked up my bag. I went looking for a place to hide. When I saw Carmen and the devil walking side by side, they said, hey, come on, let's go downtown. She said, I gotta go, but my friend can stick around. That's not good news. Take a load off, Fanny. Take a load for free. Take a load off, Fanny. And you put the load right on me. Get your cannonball now to take me down the line. My bag is sinking low, and I do believe it's time to get back to Miss Fanny. You know she's the only one who sent me here with her regards for everyone. Sing it, everybody. Take a load off, Fanny. Take a load for free. Take a load off, Fanny, and you put the load right on me. One more time. Take a load off, Fanny. Take a load for free. Take a load off, Fanny. And we should have rehearsed this. You put the load right on me. I hope this took a load off your mind. It certainly used up an hour of your life you'll never get back again.
They were binge watching Netflix.
We'll see you Sunday, and we'll meet you in the middle next week.
Hey, for next week, if you have any questions or anything you'd like for us to talk about at all, text them in, email them in. We would love to answer your questions, to talk about any topics you'd like for us to discuss. We're here for you to take a load off.
That's right.
And we'll meet you in the middle.
All right.